What I gather when it comes from people that come from outside the states and people that are from the states is a lot of times people who come from the United States, we try to break tradition or generational curses. But I feel like, when you come from like Africa, different places like that, y'all really do embrace y'all tradition. So you saying that you got your passion from your father, is it important for your sons to experience the same love you have for soccer?
I mean, for me, I was on the lucky side. My son wanted to play.
Okay.
Even though in my head, he had no option,
Ah!
but but I'm just being honest. Even in my mind, I knew that he had no option, but he wanted to play.
Why he had no option? Hypothetically, if he did
Because
want to
like
play.
for me, I feel like every kid needs to play sport. To me personally, because you learn so much discipline, character from the sport. Any sport that you play in, any sport, literally. Because even with you, back in high school, you playing football. You have to be at practice on time. You have to pass your fitness test. You have to be respectful to your coaches and your teammates. You have to be disciplined on the field to make sure you're not getting the same calls to, get like a foul. Right? So it teaches so much. And you learn about hurdles, like the downside of the game and the upside. Right? So when you translate to like the real world, if you have a job right now or you want to, just like you right now have a podcast, you went through the rough time when you were starting. But because you're disciplined from sport, you don't know how to quit. So that's why for me, every kid needs to play sport because you learn those characteristics that makes you a better person in general.
What's good? It's your boy Trey the Realist in episode number 20 of If You Don't Mind Me Asking. I got me one of my real good guys all the way from New Jersey, my boy Otto. I just want to pass it over to him so he can introduce himself.
My name is Ansger Otto, but everybody call me Otto. Just grew up in New Jersey. I mean, what else can I say? I used to play professional soccer, but not anymore. I'm on the father side now.
Okay. So where are you originally from?
Originally from Ghana, West Africa.
Okay. So
And we got the best jollof. Just to say that. We got the best jollof.
okay, talk heavy. I had a homeboy on a few months ago. His name was Kwaku. He from Africa as well, and he told me when he first came over to the States, he was really big into soccer, but people made fun of him for playing soccer, so he had to switch to play football and basketball. But that wasn't the same for you, man. You seem like you always been into soccer.
Yes, but people was during that time, like not a lot of people play soccer. They didn't know much about it. But for me, like my dad played, my uncles played. So like I just couldn't stop playing, if that makes sense. But I was during the summer, like I'll be playing basketball with Terrell in Penny Parker. Like I'll always be playing basketball, but I knew soccer was my path.
So your family what inspired you, or was there an athlete that inspired you more?
My dad.
Your dad, okay.
Yeah, yes, I did have like inspiration from like other players that I watched played, but my dad was all about soccer. He was a professional soccer coach, and I always wanted to make him proud. But first, I wanted to make myself proud, but at the same time, I wanted to make him proud. I'm proud as well.
A lot of y'all don't know about my boy Otto, but you was the first person who made soccer cool to me in Willingboro, New Jersey. Like you was the one that
Thank
we
you.
all used to go to the soccer game to see you play because you played at such a high rate where it was just so entertaining. And I think you also made it cool for a lot of other kids that want to play soccer as well at our school as well. So how was that being that focal point at high school when it came to soccer?
Back in Ghana, right? So Ghana, when you play soccer, like kids sport was more popular than like grown men playing games. Like when we play like games and back in Ghana, like you see a lot of people watching, and if you was the best player on the field, they give you money. So essentially, like, we learn how to play for the fans, like be entertainer. So when I got to like, I came to move to America, the game was so much easier for me. So I learned how to like, manipulate the ball at a very young age. So when I see there's a lot of crowd or a lot of fans there, that just turned out my game to
Okay.
another level. Yeah, that's how my mindset always was.
I also feel like you put a lot of people underneath your wing too. I know Kelvin and stuff like that. I feel like people you play with also was kind of inspired by your play as well. Being a leader on the field, not just a player. Like how did that go with you when you had to be like a leader on that field?
So like one thing I learned at a very young age, my dad said if you have nothing positive to say, don't say it. And it's better to encourage than to condemn. So I never was the type to talk down my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
because we was all going to the same wall and we all want the same outcome. So the moment I discourage you, we losing.
Mhm.
Right. So that's how I was. So I always make sure I said the positive stuff to my teammate to work harder for us to achieve what we want to do. Because if they perform, then I can perform.
When you go from high school to playing college and the professionals, like what was the difference for you? Like what obstacles or challenges did you face throughout your career in soccer?
Wow. High school was very, very easy for me. So like I learned a bad trade. Even though I always worked out by myself, but in high school I learned a bad trade because I felt like it was too easy and I didn't want to work hard after I practice. Right? So when I went to college, I had to change my mindset all over again because there was a competition. Even though I played, almost every game I played, I never sat on the bench. But I knew the competition was so much, and I realized, okay, if I want to go to the next level, I have to work out on my own. But that's what the shift that I had in college. And then at professional level, because of my work ethic from college, it pushed me to go to the next level.
So tell me about your professional career. How was that going? Like traveling all over the United States, the world. How was that for you? Being in the pros, and what teams did you play for again?
First, when I was graduating from college, I went to New York Cosmos. And then I went to Japan and then came back and played for Philadelphia Fury. That's about it, but too many injuries, so I just call it a quit.
Man, that's crazy. So, how old was you when you started experiencing those injuries, and when you were just like, what, it's just time to kind of just hang it up?
Probably like when I was 27.
Was it hard for you to kind of say like, all right, my career is over? Was that a hard adjustment?
Bro, it is. It is. Like, it's one of the hardest thing, like, because, like, you want to play. Even up to today, I want to play. But I have to think about the next day. Like, waking up with so much pain, like hip impingement, like, it's crazy.
When it comes to all of that, you said you was kind of take care of your body more. With all this medicine today and all this new science out there, like you can't get back out on that field.
I can, but just like the work to just get back, like, you have to be in. I can still play. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I'm not in the top shape that I am, and also I found a new passion, like my kids play. I'm teaching them how to play. I also do like a private training on the side where I'm teaching kids how to play soccer, the game the right way, how to have the passion for the game. I'm enjoying that side of like coaching and being a father, but to go play right now, I can play, but just the pain after.
Okay. Because I know a lot of times when I talk to like people who play football and things like that, they kind of get depressed when they watch the game nowadays. They kind of like, like I wish I was still out there. I wish I could gave more to the game. So are you depressed when you watch soccer now, or is I gave it my all, so I don't really have any
Regrets.
regrets?
I don't have any regrets. Do I feel sad? No. The only thing I always tell myself, like, I know I could have done more, but I gave my best. I enjoy myself playing. And every obstacle that I face, I'm just trying to make sure that my kids doesn't experience that or like they can do better than me. That's the main thing.
What I gather when it comes from people that comes from outside the states and people that are from the states is a lot of times people who come from the United States, we try to break tradition or generational curses. But I feel like, when you come from like Africa, different places like that, y'all really do embrace y'all tradition. So you saying that you got your passion from your father, is it important for your sons to experience the same love you have for soccer?
I mean, for me, I was on the lucky side. My son wanted to play.
Okay.
Even though in my head he had no option, but but I'm just being honest. Even in my mind, I knew that he had no option, but he wanted to play.
Why you had no option? Hypothetically, if you did
Because
want to
like
play.
for me, I feel like every kid needs to play sport. To me personally, because you learn so much discipline, character from the sport. Any sport that you play in, any sport, literally. Because even with you, back in high school, you playing football. You have to be at practice on time. You have to pass your fitness test. You have to be respectful to your coaches and your teammates. You have to be disciplined on the field to make sure you're not getting the same calls to, get like a foul. Right? So it teaches so much. And you learn about hurdles, like the downside of the game and the upside. Right. So when you translate to like the real world, if you have a job right now or you want to just like you right now have a podcast, You went through the rough time when you were starting, but because you're disciplined from sport, you don't know how to quit. So that's why, for me, every kid needs to play sport because you learn those characteristics that makes you a better person in general.
Your son is passionate about it right now. He wants to play right now. But say
Yeah.
5 years from now, he just like, you know what, dad is not really it. Are you just happy that he experienced it, or does he have to see it all the way through to a certain age?
If he says he doesn't want to play anymore, I'm not going to force him because maybe his passion is somewhere else, and then we figure that out. But at least he learned the characters from like, okay, I have to be at practice on time. I have to wear the same uniform every single time. So those is more important to me than saying that okay, you have to see it through for the rest of your life. Yeah, I can't control his life at that point.
It's funny because I talk to a lot of my athlete friends, and to a lot of them say that their kids don't got a choice. And I can't really say that my dad put that upon me, but my dad just wanted me to be exposed to different sports though. But he never really pressured me to do one sport. Because my dad, he was a basketball
Yeah.
player, but he never really pressured me to do basketball. He just wanted just me to do something, something to get out,
Yeah.
to get outside and and be active and things like that. And it just can't came that football was the sport that I was the best at overall. Even though when I was younger, I used to try to run away from it a lot. I used to. I didn't want to play. I was a fat kid back then. I was a fat kid. I didn't want to be the person that, all right, you just doing it because you the big kid. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when I got older, I realized, it really did teach me emotional intelligence where like I have to regulate my emotions. I can't get
Yes.
upset when things don't go my way. I can't dwell on a mistake that I did on my past. I have to worry about the next play. So I did learn a lot of stuff
Yes.
when it came to sports where I do think it helped me to today when it comes to high stress situations. So I do know the benefits of where sports bring. But I just feel like nowadays these kids are like so into their phone, they're so into different things. It's just like, are sports even a factor now? Like to a lot of kids. I don't really see too many kids. Let me rephrase it. I'm not gonna say I don't see too many kids, but I don't see an emphasis on sports like it was back when we was younger.
Yes. You're right. And I agree with that because like for me, I had to regulate my son, like his time on his even on his iPad. Right. And what I did was like from a younger age, I told him like if you want to watch anything else, you can only watch soccer on your iPad. Right. So I regulated that for him to understand that okay, if I want to be passionate about this sport, I have to make sure I'm just always watching it. That's how you learn because you can't always go to the field and be good at just what your coach is telling you. Sometimes you need to just see it. So that's how I did it with my son. But right now, like the technology is taking over, but some kids don't know how to use it.
To their advantage.
Right? Exactly. It's like for me, when I was playing, for example, college or professional, what I used to do was on my way to the games, I'm watching like highlight videos that have motivational message behind it. And then imagine myself in that game already. So that's what helped me out. So some kids just use it just for the fun of, okay, I want to be on Instagram. I want to be on TikTok. But you can use YouTube to learn how to even dribble a soccer ball, like how to get better at passing. Somebody's showing you how to do that, but you just don't do it.
And it's crazy you say that because there's so much on YouTube when it comes to being better at your craft when it comes to sports. Like when we was younger, it wasn't really all of that. Like you had to go to a
Nah.
coach. So you had to go to a
Yep.
coach to learn or get that experience. But now I'm seeing whether it's basketball, football, or any sport you want to see, where I'm starting to play basketball now just to get back outside more. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at these drills online and things like that, where it's just like, damn, it's crazy how these kids really have like a plethora of knowledge right in front of them. And if they
Yeah.
use it,
But the question for you is, imagine if we had that.
that's what I was going to say, where a lot of times people want to say like these kids nowadays are better athletes, where it's like, are they really better athletes or do they just got more resources? You know what I mean? Where
More resources.
that's what it is. Like they got all these all this film, all these fancy drill coaches, where back in the day it was like you were just that guy from just being out on the field with your friends. Whether you on the
Yep.
streets, whether you on like a random soccer field, whatever it's at, like legends were made on a parking lot.
That's facts.
Where
That's facts. Because like me and my best friend, all we did was go to the soccer field together and just train by ourselves. No coaches, nobody else. Whereas like now they have that option. right? Back then, we watch videos. You watch, I mean, not videos. You watch actual football game to learn,
Exactly. Like
right? That's how it was for me. I watch soccer, I watch football, like just basically learning what let's say if Ronaldo was playing, I'm watching what Ronaldo did, and then I'll go to my backyard and then imagine doing that.
it,
That's how I learned.
it was more. I think back on our day, it was more imagination based. Like you was playing off
Yes.
imagination. Where now these people actually have a tangible item to go to that next level.
Yeah, which is true because that's what I'm saying. Like I do like one-on-one training. Like I'm actually breaking things down to the kids, and I enjoy doing that, right? And at the same time, it's like I'll ask myself like, what if I had like a personal trainer? Because I'm still getting better with my touches right now. But I'll ask myself like, what if I had a personal trainer to break moves down for me to understand at 5 years old? I'll be honest, my son is just turned 7. He have a better skills than me when I was 7, and that's because like I've been training him. He have a very good coach as well, Coach Frank. So ask myself the same questions like, dang, if I was back then, like I had a trainer like that, bro, I'd be on a
It would
different level.
it would be different. And I don't know about you in high school. If we watch film a little bit, but it would be like we watch film for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes before we would go out and practice or play a game. But in college, it was like you have to watch film all the time. You have to watch, all
Yes.
right, what mistakes will this person make? What mistakes are you making? And we got this thing called huddle where we went to a black school that really didn't have too many resources, so we didn't have this technology called huddle. Where most of these
Yeah.
white schools, they had this information, they had this technology where they can really delve into their skill set. So I always imagine like, yo, what if I had huddle on my phone where I can look at it 24/7, go back and forth. Word like I had to go to my coach and ask for a VHS tape just to look at film. That's how bad it was. Like we had to like really get a VHS tape or try to convert it to a DVD just to watch
Yep.
film.
That's what we had in college as well. And we did do a lot of like video sessions, but like you said, like how do like my son's team have a video? Every game is sent to us, and if we can watch it, like at home to break it down with him. But during our time, we didn't have that, and that's what I'm saying. Like to me, we was a better athletes, and what we accomplished with just a little amount of technology is insane.
But what you think more important, being physically gifted or having the mental mindset for it all? Where I had like a dude in college, his name was Eric. He wasn't the most athletic, but he was so mentally advanced that he put himself in the right place at the right time for every play. And that's when I started realizing that a lot of these sports, most of it is really the mind more so than the physical.
Yes, yes. I agree with that. Like you don't have to, even in soccer. Like I've played with some of the slowest players ever, but they knew where to be at the right time, and you can't get the ball away from them. Vision on the field and just knowing where to be. The mentality of the game. If you have that, your game is so much advanced. And if you have a physical presence as well, then yes, you have like LeBron James. You can't stop him because you have everything. But if vision is more important to me, knowing mentally like where to be, when to pass the ball, all of those things like play a big role compared to being physical dominant.
To get into more so your coaching career, what do you think was more rewarding, you coaching or you playing?
Coaching.
Why coaching?
I believe in the Bible, right? And I forgot the Bible verse, but God gave three people like gifts, and some people didn't multiply, right? I'm a firm believer of like I don't want to leave this earth. I know one day I'm gonna be gone, but I don't want to be able to keep everything that I learned or my gift to myself and not pass it on to somebody else. I want to be able to be sitting down at home one day and seeing one kid that I trained playing on TV. That's my reward. So like I enjoy passing off my knowledge that I learned from the game, everything that I accomplished. I love giving it back to the kids.
So what's your coaching
That's my
style?
passion.
So what's your coaching style then?
As a coach, one thing I learned is you have to know your players personally. You have to know who you can yell at to motivate them to play. And you have to know who doesn't. like being yelled at. Somebody, there's some players that you need to put your arm around them and tell them like, "Hey, you're doing great. Keep going." Like, you have to like love them. I've learned to have the balance of not being the one that's always yelling at the kid because they made mistakes, right? And some kids, just thrive off that.
So what kind of player was you? Was you the type of person that could get into you, or you was more so you got to put your arm around you?
So for me, I was both, right? And it sounds silly, but I was both. Like if I feel like a coach liked me a lot or wanted the best for me, I kill myself when I felt for the coach. And some days I might not be on point, and I just need somebody just to say the wrong thing to me to spark me. So I was just both.
So was there a player that pushed you when you on during your journey? Was there a player beside like in high school or in college or in the pros that pushed you as well?
I had one friend named Kadeem. He was going on a tryout. I forgot in Richmond, and he said, "Bro, you have to be the star." He said at the nighttime, that's the only time the stars shine. But we have to find a way to shine through all these players, and that stuck with me. And we just kept going, bro. He just was one of like the real friends that knew that okay, my potential, and I knew his potential. And he went on to play for a lot of professional teams, and I'm proud of him.
That's dope because I feel like I had a way better high school career than I did a college career. That's more so I feel like the people who were around me in high school pushed me in a way where it was like, all right, it's competition, but I know that these people that I'm playing with want the best for me and they see the best in me. Where in college, it was almost like dog eat dog world. You know what I'm saying? To me,
Yeah,
where it was I ain't know who to trust, I ain't know who to really like try to feed into or confide in. Where it really did kind of mess me up. Where like you said, when you have coaches that really want the best for you, you're gonna put your best foot forward. But I ain't know whether the coaches was for me, I ain't know whether the players was for me in college. So that really kind of messed me up mentally in college a lot. Whereas in high school, I felt like, we all wanted the same thing for each other. Even if we was to compete or to push each other, we knew it was for the betterment of the whole team.
and that's one thing to I learn as well. Because my friend he went to a different school. He went to UMBC. But one thing I learned for sure was, and which I tell my son, you have to understand this about life. Everybody's gonna smile with you, but they're not really a friend, right? And also at practice, I was telling like if you go to practice, you don't want to give your spot to somebody else to start easily. At practice, you don't have friends. Games, you have teammates. So at practice, when I went to practice, be cool, but as soon as the coach said, let's go, I don't know you. Because I know you can take my spot. But during game day, oh yeah, we the best teammates. I'll go to war with you. I will fight for you. I'll get cards for you. But practice, man, I don't know you. After practice, then I know you.
Did your dad teach you that, or did life teach you that?
My dad. My dad told me that. Like that's what I'm saying. I was so lucky to have my dad. I didn't understand what he was doing for me until I got older. Like he used to be sitting down. My dad used to do the random stuff sometimes, man. He would be sitting down drinking Guinness. He'd be like, ask to come down. I go down, so he'd be like, yo, do push-ups. What? Like, I'm chilling. Like, and he would take me to Mill Creek Park. Stop the car at the top of the entrance to get to Mill Creek Park and tell me to run around. By the time I get there, he's ready, sitting down, ball's ready to go. He did some random stuff, but he taught me so much about life. And up to today, it still like applies. So I've never been like envious of anybody, whatever anybody has got. I know that I can work hard to get it. And that's what I did on the field as well. Like I never envy, so, oh, this person got All American, so I'm mad. Okay, no problem. Next year I'm gonna show up and I'll get that.
So, what is the biggest accomplishment you did during your playing career? Like, what was the moment that stuck out to you the most?
Yes, I know playing professionals like amazing. Like signing your first contract is amazing. But I would say being part of like the Heisman Trophy watch list.
They got the
Like that
Heisman
was
for soccer.
probably
They got the Heisman for soccer.
yeah. And that was probably like one of the best accomplishments that I think I had besides All American. But that was one of them.
And what year was that for you in
And
college?
so my freshman year I was rookie of the year, sophomore year I was player of the year, All American. My junior year, that's when I was on the Heisman Trophy watch list. But I would say the best one probably is when we won the first time we won conference for Willenboro High School.
Oh, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, probably that was like probably one of my favorite moment.
that was your those were your highest moments. What were your lowest moments in soccer?
The injuries, bro. The injuries. Man,
I always say that injuries in sports will either increase your love or it will, I won't say decrease your love, but it will make you really question things like, what if, like, I didn't get injured at this point? What if I could keep going? It brings
yeah.
a lot of, I don't want to say doubt, but it just brings a lot of questions, like, like, what if?
It brings stress, man. Like you depressed because like saying injuries is like annoying. And like you get to go to games and you're watching the games and you're like, man, I wish I was out there playing, but you can't play. So like it definitely allow you to question things like why did I even put myself in that situation in the first place to get hurt? Like I can remember the one that killed me was like my hip impingement. It was off season and I was like, you know what? I'm about to start working on my free kicks to get better. Because every year I want to add some attribute to my game so I can get better. So I was learning like the Ronaldo knuckle. And I kept doing it over the summer. And then I know where I thought I had like a sports hernia. But that knew that crack a hip bone. And I was like, what if I just kept the regular technique that I knew, then not just changing it up? And that was like a regret, honestly. And then another one was like when I was in Japan. Man, I crack a hip my rib cage, right? I mess up my rib, bro. Every time you breathe, it hurt. You cough, it hurt. You turn, it hurt. And then when you're coming back from injury, the amount of running that you have to do to get back in shape makes you like, man, I should have just kept playing. I should have never told them that, yo, I'm hurt. Because the whole time the team is training for, if it's 2 hours, you're running for 2 hours. So it definitely lets you question yourself a lot. But if you love the game, you got to do what you have to do to come back.
Especially when, like you said, your spot's on the line. When your spot's on the line,
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's something that I
Yep.
learned real fast. Where in college, I hurt myself my sophomore year, messed my ankle up, and my team pretty much told me like, "Yeah, you gotta play." And
Bro,
they pretty much told me I had to play. They was just like, because we didn't have no depth for real, so like, you gotta play. And at first, I was like, "Man, I can't do it." But at the end of the day, I was just like, if I don't play, they're gonna find somebody else that can. And I can
yeah.
lose my spot, I can lose
Yeah.
my scholarship and all of that. So you got to make a lot of
Same thing happened to me in
sacrifices.
college. Same thing happened to me in college. I messed up my Achilles. Every game I was taping it up to try to play. And then like one game we was playing against not UConn. We played against UConn. And somebody stepped on my heel. So I had like a big cut on my heel. The next game was against Ryder. I didn't want to play. My coach was like, no, you gotta try to play. So they tape it up, bro. So the whole time they taping it up, Ryder players was also in the locker room because they came to our home and they saw that I was, I had tape on my ankle and everything. They saw the cut. So that the game started, bro. Somebody stepped on it,
Golly, man.
bro. I was out for the first half. Came in the second half, got mad, and scored 3 goals.
Dang.
Yeah, it feels like that's what I'm saying. Like something you just got to find somebody to give you motivation as well.
I'm about to say it's real because I'm about to say like that's where the mental part come into it as well, where it's just like I can either crumble right now or I can rise to the occasion. Especially like
Yeah, and that's you're right, but that's what I'm saying. For me, like I had that mental toughness at a very young age, whereas like I didn't know how to quit. Cause like even when I was moving to America, my dad told me, "Hey, stop playing soccer because I don't want you to get hurt." And I said, "Nah, Dad, I can't do it."
dang.
And I kept playing.
But I thought you listened to everything your dad said though.
I did, but you see, that's what I'm saying. I was young. Like when you're young, like saying things that your dad said to you, feel like it's like he doesn't love you, he doesn't care for you. So at that time, I was in Ghana. I felt like, all right, you're not even living here with me. Like, how can you tell me not to play the game that I love so much? And that's like the primary game that everybody plays. There's no basketball. There's basketball, but like you barely see people playing that game. So soccer is the only thing that's left. What do you want me to do? So I
All
end up not listening, But when I moved to America, yes, everything that he said, I listen.
right. All right. So you say your son young now, but when he gets to an age where he's not listening to you, like how you going to attack that?
Man, that's a good question, bro. I don't even know. But for me, like, I always tell him to be, speak his mind. But at the same time, like, I always try to tell him at a young age, like, look, I've played the game to the highest level. You're trying to get to where I'm trying to get to. I mean, where are you trying to get to, right? You haven't been there yet. So whatever I'm telling to you, like, we can talk about it and find the best solution. That's it. But I'm not going to, like, say whatever I say goes. Like, you have to be able to give them room to make mistakes and come to you.
So what I want to say next. So you said you have two kids, right? So you said 1 7. What's the other age?
He just turned 13.
Oh, so who's a better athlete out of the two?
Bro, you trying to get me in trouble. I refuse.
All right, who do you see the most
Alright,
potential in right now?
the little one.
I always feel like
And
the little one out the two always is a
yes,
better one because they have a lot to aspire to in a way.
yes, the older one, like, my wife and I want him to explore more. The little one, he came out of the womb when he played soccer. Like, I remember if he was driving like a long distance and there's no soccer ball in the car, he was like maybe like a year. Bro, no lie to you. If there was no soccer ball in his lap, you, you're literally stretching out your arm to the back and he's holding your hand the whole ride and your shoulder's
Mm.
hurting. So that's when I knew, like, yo, he wanted to play, right? And then, like, when I used to coach other kids, when I gave him, like, Dad, I want to play soccer, I want to play, and then I have to take him back to where I was training at nighttime just to have him play soccer and just run around and then come back home. So, yeah, he definitely is, like, to me, he's already better than me at the age of 7.
But some, like I said, I ain't speaking on your kids, but some kids burn out faster though when they start off so young and are good. I mean, let me rephrase it. I know people who
Right, though.
were great athletes when they was younger, then they get to like college or late senior year, and almost like they kind of fizzle out. Where some people become great when they get older, and that makes sense.
That makes sense, but it also depends on who your parents are and what they are telling you, right? And it's also about your environment because the environment, like we can look at Willenboro for example. There was so many great football players, basketball players that didn't get to nowhere. You know why? Because of their attitude. So it's basically like that's what I tell my son. Like every time that you go to practice, you have to be the best one at the practice. I don't care about the games because you're at the age where you need to develop, make mistakes, and learn from it. But you have to be the hardest worker on the field. Because once he understands that, anywhere he goes, he know how to work hard. And some coaches love players that work hard.
You're not cheating the
Yes.
game. You're not cheating the game. That's what it is.
Yeah. So that's the main thing for me. I teach my kids to be able to like always stay consistent. But you are right, because some kids develop late. But it's always depend on like your environment, bro. Like that's the most important thing. Because right now, if I'm around like people that is like own businesses, there's no reason why I shouldn't own a business. Unless I'm lazy, right? So that's how I teach him. Like when you go to practice, because he's around like really good young soccer players right now, and his team is like phenomenal. But I always tell him like you have to be the best worker out of all of them.
So do you go to his practices?
I go to his practices, I don't watch
Why is that?
because I don't want him to depend on me. I don't want him to always make mistake and then looking for me to correct him. That's where I'm paying the coach for a reason. That's one, and then two, that's where you need to be able to express yourself and make the mistake so that your coach can correct you. And you have to be free. During games, I'll be there to support you because one of the best thing for me when I was growing up was in Ghana, my mom didn't come to my games because they don't care about stuff like that. Even though she care about me being happy, but parents normally didn't go to your games. But when I moved to America and some games, my dad's in the crowd, I'm excited to play that my dad's watching me to play. And I wanted to show him something. So now, like when I go to my son's game, I'm just enjoying myself just watching. I try not to say much because the coach is giving me different instruction. But I practice, I don't watch.
So you don't say anything when y'all go back home, though? If you do see something?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. But one thing that I learned from my dad was he never talked to me until I said something to him. Hey, Dad, what do you think about my game? How do you think I played? That's when he would lay it into me, bro. But if I don't say anything, he just keep his thoughts to himself.
That's some wise advice right there. You don't want to discourage your child or make them overthink
Yes.
now unless they really want that feedback.
Then bro, at that point, they're willing to receive because he came to you telling you, hey, Dad, I'm hungry. Okay, now go get you something to eat. But if he doesn't come to you, you're not going to feed him because you're not telling you, hey, Dad, I'm hungry. So that's how I look at it. And that's what my dad did to me. And it worked because now, whatever he's saying, I put myself in that place to receive whatever he has to say to me. I try to do the same thing to my kids. Like, yo, I'm not about to talk to you until you ask me. And then, two, if we are training, me and you training, yes, I'm definitely going to let you have it. But and at the same time, you don't want to bend that relationship with your kid. So it's like, all right, man, just do what you got to do. But if you come to me, I'm going to let you have it.
Those wild words, man. I think I'm ending right here, though, man. Any
Yeah,
last
bro.
words?
Nah, honestly, one thing I'm going to say to you is like, I'm proud of you. With all the adversity that you went through to move to a different state that you don't know nothing about, and to be to be doing what you're doing, I'm proud of you. And I don't have to wait till write a Facebook post about you when you're no longer here. Nah, that's not worth it. I'd rather tell you right now about how proud I am of what you are becoming, the man that you're becoming. You was always respectful, nice kid in high school. You was like relatable, and to see what you're doing down, bro, it's a blessing. Don't stop. The sky's the limit. Before you know it, this is gonna be bigger than what it is. And I apologize because I was supposed to come on here a long time ago.
Oh man, well,
And it is, we
man,
didn't do it, but I'm proud of you, honestly.
bro, I can't tell you how much I appreciate those words, man. And you always been somebody from back then that I used to look up to when it came to this athlete thing. You always been
Thank you.
one of the top players that I've seen in your craft, and you made me want to start watching soccer when I was in high school.
Thanks.
It all comes in full circle, bro. You know, and hopefully one day I can actually get you in the studio personally.
Hey,
Hey, we can
my
do a
wife going to
live.
move out there. My
Hey,
wife going to move out there, bro.
yo, tell her it's nice out here, man. Tell her it's a nice area out here. But hey, in due time, though, in due time.
Yes, yes. But yeah, definitely proud of you, man. Just don't stop. You know, sometimes you might seem like you're not going as fast where you need to get to, but remember, every drop matters. And every drop, you need to celebrate that, bro. And before you know it, this podcast is going to be big. Well, you don't even have to go to work.
And
But
that's the
don't
goal.
stop working, bro. Don't stop working. That's the main thing. Don't stop working. It's going to be days where I'll be like, man, I feel like giving up, but don't give up. That's when you're like really, really close to achieving everything that you want. So don't stop, bro. I'm proud of you.
Yo, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming on. It's episode number
Anytime.
20. If you don't mind me asking, remember to love yours. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for watching the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. We have similar videos above. For exclusive content, please follow our Patreon, which is patreon.com/BearviewMedia. See you next time. Peace.